you are back with comedian David Boyle and I'm quitting alcohol. So the crypto crash of 2021 is underway. Plumbers, pedophiles and podcasters just bleeding fucking money. Everything is almost 50% down as we speak, and it's been going down fucking days now. Luckily, I sold my Dogecoin about an hour ago for a sweet $43 profit. I bought $400 worth of Dogecoin at 38 cents, and it got up to like 90 cents or 94 cents. So the boy Al had double and a bit his money. And then Elon Musk last week, I think it was about to do Saturday Night Live. And it was a decision between, is Elon Musk going to fucking pump Dogecoin on Saturday Night Live, or is he going to say something retarded? And I took the little gamble. I'm going to say Elon Musk is going to fucking give it a little bit of a fucking tickle. Give the old fucking Doge's dog balls a little bit of a rub. So I bet on that and went to sleep, and I woke up and Dogecoin was dropping. I think it went down to like 73 cents immediately. And I was like, all right, what the fuck did Elon do? And I Googled it, and instead of saying something retarded, he fucking admitted he was retarded. So I'm like, fuck you, Elon. So I jumped off Doge. I think I made like $300 profit. I was up to $730 from my $400 investment. And I put it all on Ethereum. And as soon as I put it on Ethereum, Ethereum went down, of course. It had been on an unstoppable upward trajectory for months until the boy Al put a little bit of fucking moolah on it. So that went down immediately, and I started Googling Dogecoin. This was like a day later, and Elon Musk said Dogecoin will be the official coin for the moon or Mars or wherever the fuck it was. And I was like, holy shit, Dogecoin is going to be the official coin for the moon and Mars. I'm getting back on this. So I sold the Ethereum. I think I lost like $100. And I bought back in a Dogecoin at a higher price than I sold it the day before. You've never seen moves like this. You've never heard of moves like this. Warren Buffett has a newsletter, doesn't he? Maybe I'll start my own financial newsletter. So I bought back into the Doge. I think it was at like 75 or 76 cents. I can't remember. But I lost money buying back in, and I lost money on Ethereum. And then I'm like, I'm just going to sit on the Doge now. And the Doge pretty much only went down from there. It just kept on slowly going down. It would drop like 4 or 5 cents, then bounce up 3 cents, then go down 6 cents, then bounce up 4 cents. It was going down. And then today, everything was collapsing, and I'm like, should I sell my Doge? It's going to be the official currency of the moon and Mars. Yes, I know there's no one on the moon or Mars. That doesn't make a difference. There is going to be people on the moon and Mars. And what are they going to use? They're going to use the Doge. When? I don't know. 6 months? Is that how long it's going to take? I don't know. All I know is it's going to be the official currency of the moon and Mars, where there are no people or shops on either of those fucking things. And I think like 7 people have been to the moon and no one's even been to Mars. That doesn't matter either. I'm thinking long term. You people are closed-minded. I'm open-minded. I think long term. I think in 40-year brackets. Anyway, I sold my Dogecoin today about 2 hours ago at, I think it was 49 or 48 cents, maybe 50 cents. I can't remember. It was an hour ago and I can't remember. But I know I have 443 sweet smackaroonies in my account. So that month-long roller coaster netted me about $10.75 per week. But I'm just waiting to get back into the game. I'm just waiting for the bottom. Who knows where the bottom is? I don't know. But if history is any guide, the bottom will be about a month after I buy back in. But anyway, I'll continue to monitor that very closely, see if I can turn my 443 into maybe 450 over the next 6 months. I think I enjoyed actual gambling better than this shit, and I think I was better at actual gambling, and I was fucking useless at gambling. Well, on the horses, I was okay at sports betting. Anyway, that is enough of the crypto crisis. Let's move on to this week's Boyle Breaks History. So this week, I really fucked myself over with the topic I chose. I went with a current event. Israel and the Jews are making themselves pretty unpopular at the moment. I don't know what's going on there. I haven't been watching any of that news because it's too fucking depressing. All I know is the Jews have drones and nuclear weapons and some of the most sophisticated weaponry in fucking warfare. And the Palestinians have pretty much only rocks and maybe the occasional Molotov cocktail. I remember watching a documentary a few years back. Some British cunt, some nerdy fucking British cunt went to the Gaza Strip and the Palestinians were throwing rocks at the Israeli soldiers. But the Israeli soldiers at the time were under orders not to shoot to kill. They could only shoot for people's legs or to disarm them of the rocks, I suppose. So they were just shooting at people's legs. And I was like, oh, that's nice. At least they're not trying to kill them. And then they went into the medical tent and cunts' legs were just getting blown off. It wasn't like a BB gun hitting your kneecap. It was your whole fucking leg getting blown off. And I was like, maybe that isn't the nicest. But yeah, the Jews seem to be making themselves unpopular again, which is historically what they seem to do. So I decided this week I'm going to do the history of Israel in Boyle Breaks History. And that was a big mistake. That was a little too much to tackle for Boyle's little brain, like 3,000 years of fucking history. But I've boiled it down to the modern state of Israel. So we're going to kick it off. It all started in 1917, November 2, 1917, with a letter written by Arthur Balfour, who was the foreign secretary for the British Empire at the time, to Lord Walter Rothschild, who was the head of the Zionist movement of Britain. The fucking Rothschilds have their dirty little fucking paws in there. So the letter written by Arthur Balfour to Lord Rothschild would later be called the Balfour Agreement, and it is pretty much the beginning of the modern state of Israel. It put the wheels in motion anyway. I'll just read you out the Balfour Agreement. And this was written on November 2, 1917. Okay, here we go. This is the Balfour Agreement. Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you on behalf of His Majesty's government the following declaration of sympathy with the Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet. His Majesty's government view with favour the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavours to facilitate the achievement of this object. It being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of the existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or the rights and political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country. I should be grateful if you would bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionist Federation. Signed, Arthur Balfour. So I had to do a deep dive and figure out why the Brits even made that declaration. And to the best of my researching ability, I found out that at that moment in time, it was during World War I. The Americans hadn't entered World War I yet. And neither had the Russians or whoever the fuck else was involved, Eastern Europeans, some other fuckers too. And the British were taking some fucking hits. So once the Brits made that declaration, the Jewish Zionists all around the world, particularly in America, started campaigning to join the war. So it wasn't until after this declaration that the US joined World War I. So a few years down the track, the Ottoman Empire was being divvied up, and in 1925, I think it was, 24 or 25, the League of Nations passed down the British Mandate for Palestine, effectively giving the Brits control over Palestine. And in that mandate, they included the Balfour Declaration. So the Balfour Declaration then became law. So the Brits ruled Palestine for 30 years. Jews that made it over to Palestine were getting Palestinian passports. Israel hadn't been created yet, but they were working on making a home for the Jewish people. And then World War II kicked in, and the Brits stopped immigration to Israel. by the Jews, which was probably a bad move. Oh yeah, before World War II, there was lots of unrest between the Jews who immigrated over and the Palestinians. Before the Brits took control, the Palestinians, the Muslim Palestinians, were 92% of the population. And then I don't know what the fuck it ended up being. But there was unrest from the start. The Brits tried to work it out, I think. I don't think they tried that hard, but they tried to work it out. And then I think they partitioned it off. I didn't look that deeply into that. I was more looking into the fucking Rothschilds. But in 1948, the Brits were like, fuck this. We don't want Palestine anymore. And they gave Palestine back to the UN. They're like, you fucking deal with it. And I think the UN dealt with it for a little while. And then the UN pushed for like separate, independent Jewish and Arab states. And the Jews accepted it and the Arabs didn't. So the independent state of Israel was created. And then the UN left, I think. And immediately the Jews and the Arabs went to war. I think a month later, there was a full-on war there, the 6-day war. So that is it. It did get a little bit scratchy towards the end there, like me trying to do a university presentation with no preparation, and then my knowledge runs out after about 14 seconds, and I just stand there and go, I don't know. Can I do this next week? Anyway, that will do for this week. That's the end of Boyle Breaks History. That will do for tonight, and I'll see you the fuck later.